Well, hello everyone. This time I'm coming at you from Route 66. If you don't know what Route 66, it was one of the mother roads in the United States. It was going from Chicago to Los Angeles. And right now we are in Oklahoma, just about halfway through. I'm heading to Las Vegas to pick up a car that someone gave me. And I was thinking I'm gonna stop here and show you guys how did the original Route 66 look like. As you see, it's made out of pieces of concrete. If you look down, you can see that these kind of joints were on all over the road, and then on the side, they put these little sides over here, and the water actually stopped in it, and that's the original route. When the Model Ts actually hit the side, it took the steering out of the people's hands, so it was not a good design. But that's how they designed the road. So this is the original Route 66. What you see here. I just finished this F-150 engine, and I only had like 50 miles on it. And well, it's actually the thrust bearing went out on it on probably like early March in 2022, and it was sitting in my yard until now. I just fixed it. So now I'm heading to Las Vegas. Somebody's giving me a Bertone if I take 4 cats from them. So hence I put the trailer on, and we're heading over to Las Vegas. We're also gonna go to Los Angeles and do the race of the gentleman. So the first stop gonna be in Clinton, the Route 66 Museum. Then we're gonna go to Elk City, and that's another national Route 66 museum. So again, we are in Clinton, Oklahoma, and here's my favorite Route 66 museum. So we're gonna stop by here and look around. But you can see there's a little diner here in the parking lot, and a nice little Dodge Phillips 66 service truck. Well, let's go inside and see what's in there. Okay, so now we came inside, and this is the interior. That's the lobby. There's a fastback Mustang with a Christmas tree. And looks like a little diner set up in the side. And an old Shell pump. I really like these old gas pumps. I think they look pretty cool. And this is a private museum. The National Museum is gonna be the next one. There's a Wurlitzer machine. In Detroit, there is a Wurlitzer factory, very old building, and now it's actually a hotel, so you can stay in the Wurlitzer factories. In the Wurlitzer factory. There's an old Coke cooler box, and you can see it's for bottled Coke. And there's a piece of the road, what I showed you earlier. Well, let's go inside. Look at all these postcards. You're able to they're able to buy it and then send it back to your friends that which way you were going. And this is where you see the map. So I started in Chicago and ended up in Los Angeles. So I started in Chicago, went through Illinois, then Missouri, a little bit of Kansas, just a tiny little bit, and then Oklahoma, that's where we are right now, then through Texas, Amarillo, which is going to be our next stop, and then New Mexico, Arizona, and all the way to Los Angeles to the Santa Monica Pier. And of course, there was the song, Get Your Kicks on Route 66. When you were going through the road, there was always signs advertising all kind of attractions. This one is advertising the live rattlesnakes. And then in this one, it says baby rattlers. Well, let's look inside what's in there. Yeah, there you go. Baby rattlers. Well, you can see a mock-up shop here with the tire iron. How you can change the tire mechanically with no air assist. And then those are actually brake parts, brake linings. They also made Model T bands. And then there is the air. There is a Model T tire on the wall and a head gasket and all kind of other little things. And here's a really old gas pump. The way they were pumping gas is that first you had to move this lever on the side, and then they brought the fuel up to the glass. You can see the color of the gas to make sure it was clear, and then see how many gallons you got. And when you were satisfied, they open the valve and it's dispensed in your car. And there's a nice old car from the Dust Bowl Okies. There was a huge dust bowl around here, and people were losing their farms because nothing was growing. So they packed up the whole family, and off they went. The destination was California most of the time, and they had to sell watches and whatever they had in order to make the road and buy food and gas. Now we are in World War II. You can see the Greyhound clock on the wall, and an old Greyhound bus through the windows. You can see it there. These are a couple of flexi buses up there. If I can move this thing around. Yeah, there it is. And this one is a GMC bus. Yep, my buses are a little bit newer than this. My buses are from the 50s. These ones are 40s. And there is an international truck. Very nicely, you can see the wooden spokes on it. Levy Freight. And a 3-digit phone number. That was a while back. Yeah, you can see a pretty cool hippie bus. That's an old Volkswagen. Very cool paint job. And look inside. Isn't that great? I just need some long hair hippie guy and a bunch of Mary Jane. I love it. And then there's a Rambler wagon, just the back of it. Rambler was an independent manufacturer. It was AMC. So you can't just get on Route 66 and start driving. Some of the road has been realigned. Some is under the freeway, mainly Highway 40. And some is still here. Some has new pavement, some has the original pavement. So this is pretty much a hobby to follow the route and find all the nice sights and people taking pictures and trying to protect whatever left of it. So if you guys seen the movie, Cars, cartoon, the cartoon Cars, that was a very good representation of what happened here. So once they opened the freeway, people were traveling less and less on Route 66, but a lot is still there, still here. So you can see all kind of relics and things as you are driving through. Those people who are real enthusiasts of Route 66, they call themselves roadies. And they know every corner, they know every place to stop, and sometimes they know the people who actually still selling pop out of a soda shop. Or namely at the Bunny, like where it says here it is, and there's the Jackrabbit stop. They are really nice folks. So I've been here with several different vehicles. So every time I come here with a car or a bus or something, I always buy a sticker here at the gift shop and affix it to the car or truck, whatever I'm driving. So now we can show that this truck has been on Route 66. So let's continue our journey and let's see what else is on Route 66. When we came inside the museum, that's where you buy the tickets. And then we start with a little teardrop camper. Just get the perfect color. Look at the trailer hitch. It's really easy for an old car. I used to have a teardrop camper before that was all polished aluminum. But it did not have a kitchen. This one has a kitchen in the back. Okay, you can just stand out here and then cook. There's like a little ice bucket too, and you can put your beer in there. There is an old Cadillac set up so you can see the road when you sit in it. My kids sit in it many times. They're really tired of it. Every time we come this way, we have to stop and then sit into this Cadillac and then see how the old road is going. Then we have a few motorcycles. There's a 46 Harley. And then there's a 65 Harley. Now that I like. That looks really decent. Look at that. And then also an Indian. I like the old Indians. So as Gerald in Germany. My friend has a Warburg restoration shop and he's an Indian fanatic. There's a Cushman. I'm not all that excited about a Cushman, but it's here. And an old fire truck with the wooden spokes. For kids, you can slide down on this brass pipe. It's a lot of fun when you have little 5-year-olds. And then there's an airplane up there. It's a Corbin. And you can see the radial engine on it. You know, the push rods exposed. That looks pretty decent. And the 59 Impala. You can see like it would be a drive-in movie theater. I love those fins. And then you can also sit in it and then watch the movie. And here's the back side of that Cadillac. And it's made it to be a couch. Looks pretty awesome. I need to make one of these out of a Trubby. They're gonna look great in my man cave. We are starting the next building with an original guardrail. I know where is one. It's still there. Nobody stole it yet. And then a 53 Lincoln, followed by some bicycles. And a very nice mural on the wall showing all these kids just bought a Model A Ford for $20 and put a flathead Ford in it. And they just made it to a hot rod. Then we continue with a Model A from 28. That looks like new. And then some bicycles and other stuff. A tree house. And it says no girls allowed. Very nicely misspelled. And then there is a freshly the newlyweds with the TT, with a Model T. Sorry, it's not a TT, just a regular Model T pickup truck. 1919. They call it a C cab because of the front part. And then a trading post, an Indian trading post. Supposedly live rattlesnakes inside. And a military jeep. It looks really decent too. And another gas station with some really modern tire over there. The Jackrabbit Trading Post. I think we're gonna stop there if it's still daylight when I get there. So this is a 1940 Chevy. And then look at this. This is a snow ski bike. I can't say I've seen one before. And a Dust Bowl Okies AA truck. Supposedly Christian Henry Fonda sitting in the chair. And some chickens on the side. And a 28 AA truck with a desert water bag on the front. So you can buy these water bags at the gas station and then you can put it there. I just don't understand why would you put it there, because it would obstruct the radiator, so you guaranteed you would overheat. And there's a nice license plate collection. I think I need to do something with my license plates. I have a whole bunch also. Ooh, there is a Z plate from Germany. Z is it's an export plate, that round one over there. And then there's one from Manila, some British plates, another West German plate, and some from Japan. Interesting, I never seen this before. And then we got a Studebaker Hawk from 62 and a 73 Corvette, simulating a diner. Well, let's go outside. This is a very nice little courtyard here, what they built with original buildings. There's all kind of businesses in there. There's a little schoolhouse, and also there is another little house in the back which includes some private local collections, but we're not going in there right now. I just want to concentrate on the cars. Yeah, these are windmills. So on the back there's a tail, and on the tail right now is in a locked mode, so it's not gonna turn. The wheel is not gonna be able to turn. So if you move that tail straight out, then the wheel actually gonna start turning, and in return is gonna start turning that long pipe, and it's gonna start pulling up the water for the animals. So that's how a windmill works in the olden ages. Looks like they have quite a few examples here from these old windmills. They have several different sizes. They also were made out of wood, and later on from metal. I know a place in Texas where they're still making them. Well, this is a blacksmith shop. You can see that there was like the transmission lines. There was like a big leather belt what went on this. This is actually a little bit dented, so the belt actually stays on in the middle, and it was continuously spinning. And the way you took off the spin is that you stepped on that big round piece down there with your foot. So whenever you stepped on this, then the hammer actually went together. The two pieces went together, and then it hit whatever you put there. All these machines are similarly designed, and don't know much about them. It looks like there is a modern way of running it. So instead of having all these transmission lines, they just put a little electric motor on it, and that runs it, so you can actually use it. And there is some anvil collection. So I have 2 anvils at home, so I guess I'm an anvil collector now. But look at this. There are quite a few of them. There's like a whole blacksmith shop is set up here, and looks like a couple of things what they made here. That looks pretty cool. Oh, there is a COVID virus out of metal. But you can see, ooh, and that's a really nice generator. I wonder what you do with this. But you can see the whole shop here. Very nicely put together. So we just got into the other building. There's a nice old Plymouth to begin with. Look at the nice hood ornament on it. Really beautiful. And then we're gonna see some tractors. There's all kind of farmall tractors. And then my favorite is the old Ford tractors, and some really gigantic windmill behind them. Look at that. Can you imagine the spinning in the wind? Trying to what kind of volume of water can it bring up? It's incredible. So there's one more farmall, a nice old John Deere. I don't know much about tractors, unfortunately. This one looks like a steam tractor. Now that would be awesome to ride around with this one. And a little Caterpillar. And my all-time favorite, a white Mustang. This was like a semi-truck back in the days. Look at that. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know how fast it was going, but it was in the time when people didn't go that fast on the roads. Let's see if we can see inside. Not much. That looks really nice. And then next to it there's an old Chevy truck. I really like this truck. I always come here and look at it. And then this is what told me to This is what reminded me for Mac's truck, and my friend Mac didn't have a bed on his truck, and then I told him, why don't you build one? So there it is. This was the one what was in my head. So Mac built a flatbed part for his GMC truck at home. But this looks pretty cool too. Man, look at this vintage forklift lifting up some barrels to put on the trailer. It's a Chevy trailer, and then an international truck. These international trucks were very popular back then, but you don't see them anymore. Let's see if you can see inside that one. Yeah, looks like it. I love the way this door handle looks like. Not like on a fridge. And it says international. 3/4 pickup from 1950. And this is where you see how they make the wagon wheels. The springs at first, and then the wagon wheels in the back. When they did the first Model Ts, they were a very similar procedure. There's some footage which shows you how they're putting the spokes in one after another. And then if you ever watched the Little House on the Prairie, you might have seen this Studebaker. I don't even know what you call that. A horse-drawn carriage or a truck. What is it? Now this is what I really got excited over, because we got 2 horses and I'm too heavy to ride them. So this would be great to have one of these, and then put the horse, 1 or 2 of them in front of it, and then go down to the diner to get lunch with it. And then there's a C-cab long Model T. You can see the letter C in it and the cab part. And this one is a 24. This is a little older than mine. And there is a touring car. This one is a 25. This looks very different than mine. And of course it's black. They said that you can get any color as long as it's black, and it's actually was true. And the reason for that was because the black color dried faster than the other colors. And these cars originally was brushed. They didn't spray it, they actually brushed the paint on. So this concludes this nice museum in Oklahoma. So now we're gonna start heading over to Texas. And I'm really waiting for that big Texan dinner. So we just got into Shamrock in Texas. And look what kind of junkyard there is. Like total classic car heaven here. Awesome. Yeah, this looks like a Model 8, and there's a whole bunch of Edsels around. Some pickup trucks. And a Hornet. Ooh. A Hudson Hornet. Pretty dang cool. Welcome to Texas, guys. And this is a nice Conoco tower. Look at this poor guy stuck in the GMC. And then something very interesting right next to this national landmark. A brand spanking new Tesla charger port. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. No Teslas though, but you have the option to charge them. That's pretty cool. If you guys heard about the Cadillac wrench, now this is the Volkswagen wrench. Somebody put down a whole bunch of Volkswagens into the ground. I guess there is no business here anymore, but the cars remain. I guess we can call it the Volkswagen wrench. Well, we are at my favorite place, the Big Texan. There's a little hotel next to it, which is actually really clean, a nice hotel. And then here it is, the Big Texan. They got the home of the 72-ounce steak. So they're saying if you eat a steak, eat a potato, and the salad, then you can get it for free. Otherwise, I think it's $75. But look at that nice little cop car in the front. Last time I was here with my friends, I bought them fried bull balls, or Rocky Mountain oysters. And they're from Europe, and they weren't too advantageous, so they really didn't like the idea to eat that stuff. Once I told them what it was, they were all spitting it out. But one of my buddy at once, he said, "Oh, I like it. Give me more." Nice little Studebaker. Well, let's go inside. This is where you can see the record attempts, like who tried it and where are they from. Well, there's one from Louisville, Kentucky. Cool. There's one from Germany. It says how long did it take to eat it, and did they succeed or not. There's an Indian guy and a gigantic bear. So this is the size of the steak here. Look at that. There's my hand next to it. So it's crazy. So you gotta eat the potato, the salad, the shrimp, and then the bun. So this is the 72-ounce steak here. So if you attempt to eat the steak, you can sit up on that upper table, and then the counter start going down from 60 minutes. And then if you succeed, it's yours for free. Would you try it? Well, looks like the Texas sun is going down, and we are at the Cadillac Ranch. That was a local guy who decided to bury a bunch of Cadillacs nose down and named the place Cadillac Ranch. They used to be at another location where it was closer to Route 66, but after a realignment, they moved them over here. It's right next to Highway 40 or I-40, a little bit outside of the town. And this is the oldest one to the newest one, as you can see all the way there. The newest one is probably a 64 or so, and then all the way down to the 50s. Well, it took me 36 hours, but I made it to North Las Vegas. It's a really rough part of town, but this is where my friend lives. So this hunk of junk did pretty well. It's doing 13 miles to a gallon, and it's only had 50 miles on it when I put the engine in when I left, so I was worrying if it's even gonna make it. I got a whole bunch of gas cans in it because the gas is so incredibly expensive around here, and in California where I'm going next is that I just brought the cheap gas from Oklahoma, and then I don't have to fill up here. So I'm gonna unhook this trailer, and here's the reason for the season. This is why we came here. Well, not for the Nissan. That poor car is totally got demolished by my old friend here, and didn't come for the Bluesmobile either, which is not a real Bluesmobile but close to it. But we came for this little Bertone. It's 1984, I believe. At first it was made by the Fiat company, and then later on Fiat said like, yeah, we don't want to make it anymore, so they just rebadged it to Bertone, and they made it in the Bertone factory. So my friend bought this car very cheap here from a lady who died in COVID, and she imported it in when it was brand new. And then now the deal is that I gotta take 4 kittens, and I can take the car. So we're gonna try to start it up and put it on the trailer. Let's see what happens. So I hooked up the little Bertone, and I was going up on the trailer. The trailer is very interesting. The whole thing pivots, and the weight of the car pushes it down. I unhook it from the connecting point to the hitch, and then the whole thing just goes up, and it's like pretty straight, the whole thing. So you can put on very low cars on it. Yeah, I have that trailer for a very long time now, and as it comes forward, it's slowly gonna move the trailer down. And there it is. So I loaded all up a little Bertone, and now I'm gonna go to LA to the race of the gentleman. So the little thing gonna just hang out here until I come back. There's no reason to tow it to Los Angeles from Vegas and then back again. So I'm just gonna leave it here, unhook it, and then when I'm ready to go, I just hook it back up, and off I go with the kittens in the truck. Well, I stopped in this lovely little town where we used to live. It's called Boulder City. It's right the other side of the hills of Las Vegas. And we lived here for almost 2 years, 2.5 years. It was so over-regulated that I just couldn't take it, and we moved. I wanted to buy a little parcel, build a house that looks down on the lake, which is called Lake Mead. You're probably familiar with it. But it was so much regulation in this little town. It's like a big subdivision on steroids. So I just kind of give up on it, and then went to Kentucky where it's still freedom, and got my farm, and I'm perfectly happy there. So, but I came by and talking to one of my friend who wants to be a pilot, and then gonna try to help him, guide him how to proceed. But right now, after that, I'm going to Los Angeles and getting closer to the race of the gentleman, which is day after tomorrow. So here, this is where the people lived who built the Hoover Dam. It was mostly management who lived in these little houses on the right. The houses still exist, and they're really, really nice old buildings. They're taking great care of them, the people who live here. And then right next to it, there is the main street with the post office. You can see a big impeller from the dam. It's just displayed here. It's huge. And then here is downtown Boulder City. There's a lot of car culture here. People love old cars, and there's always all kind of festivals. There is an active car club here, which those folks are really super nice. And if you ever come to Las Vegas, make sure you come up here to Boulder City and stop by and have some lunch. My favorite place to eat is the Southwest Diner, where I'm gonna meet with one of my friends here. And yeah, I lived here for 2.5 years. I kind of miss it, but I don't miss it. I like Kentucky a lot better. This is where my barber shop is, where I used to be. And I just love this place. There's always some Christmas parade and 4th of July parade. We had really good schools here. And you can see the downtown here. There were wine walks here sometimes, where all the businesses bought wine, and then people can go around and wine and dine. That was very nice too. It's just all this over-regulation. That's just totally not for me. I grew up in communism in Hungary when it was still communism, and I can smell communism a mile away. And no, thank you. It's mostly from California. The people moving in, running away from California and moving in and bringing their ways with them, and which that's what you want. That's fine, but it's not a political program, so let's just leave it at that. I'm gonna go have lunch with my buddy here. This is the Southwest Diner. That's my favorite place right here. Oh, there's a Santa there too. Got into that small town called Nipton. This is already California, and I've seen a couple of cool little cars sitting next to the road, so I just wanted to show that off to you. The first one is a Continental. Don't ask me what year it is. Most likely mid-60s. If you know exactly what year it is, let me know. I'm not even attempt to say what year that is. Look at the rear window. The little fins, the incredible taillights. It's fascinating. And also there is another Cadillac and a Buick and a Chevy over there. I don't know how much you can see it from the picture. But this is the small town Nipton. The reason why I came this way is twofold. One, I had a friend I met in Boulder City, and then it's a nice little drive through that Joshua Highway. And the other reason is I wanted to avoid the California customs, so to speak, because I got a bunch of fuel here, which I bought for $2.50 a gallon in Oklahoma, which is about 1,000 miles from here at least. And I don't really want to answer any questions going through the border here. But there's one more camper there, which might be nice. Through the trees you might can see it over there. Well, sounds like there is a bird too. Let's keep going. Well, we made it to Los Angeles. I totally understand why I live in Kentucky. This is not my cup of cake. I have sitting here for like an hour and a half now. I still got another 50 minutes left. So look at my nice infotainment system in my 2000 Ford F-150. There is the masking tape. And wow, look like somebody just about to hit me on the front right. He's very adamant about changing lanes in that little Scion. He's not scared of my Kentucky Ford bumper. So anyhow, hopefully I'm gonna get to my friend tonight at one point, and then tomorrow I'm gonna show you guys his Wartburgs. We're gonna go for a ride in his convertible Wartburg, which I really admire, and then we're gonna go to the race of the gentleman. So I'll just sit here and listen to some Mexican music. Welcome to LA.